Wait is finally over, guys. For all those who has been requesting and sending me messages and stuff to drop a fire tank tutorial for 2023, an updated tutorial for you guys, I have decided to make a couple of different builds for you guys. So I got some time now and I'm doing these builds for you guys. You know, a lot has changed over the course of the year. DC Universe Online has been out over 10 years now, and a lot has changed. The devs have introduced artifacts, the augment system, the introduction of allies also, you know, a lot has changed. Also, the skill points has reached, I think about 800 plus is the max you could get right now, something around that there. So, you know, there's a lot you could do in terms of gameplay, in terms of builds, you know, depending on what you're doing, you know, what you prefer to. You could battle tank, you could have a hidden tank build, you could have a build just strictly for survival mode, and so on. You know, there's a lot you could do. So in today's video, I'm going to share one of my builds. This is going to be a fire tank healing tutorial for 2023. So with that being said, let me just dive right into it. I just want to mention one thing. There will be timestamps in the video, so you could check the different parts of the video, you know, that you're interested in. Yeah, so let's get right into it, guys. Very important before I move on. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you would like to, take the time right now, take 5 seconds of your time and go hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I have my other upcoming videos. So with that being said, let's get right into the build. Alright guys, the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the equipment, the white mods, and the artifacts used. I'm going to explain everything in detail. That way you guys understand why I'm using these particular mods and artifacts as it relates to the fire tank healing build. As they say, knowledge is power, so I hope you guys absorb all this information and, you know, put it to use. So let's get right into it. For the weapon, we're going to be using the one-handed weapon. It's good for lunges. You know, it has a good range. You could lunge from a very far distance once you're able to target whatever you're lunging at. And for that weapon, we're going to be using the absorption adapter 5. Our weapon attacks have a chance, they say have a chance to activate a shield, reducing damage by 75% on that until damage equal to 30% of your health is prevented. This effect may occur every 30 seconds. So you have a chance to activate a shield. It's not going to always activate every single time, and it's going to prevent some of damage, like about 75%, you know, not 100%, 75%, which is going to help out while you're tanking. So, you know, let me demonstrate that. I hope it procs. You know, sometimes it don't. It takes a while. So let me do some weapon attacks here real quick. Okay, it proc immediately. That's good. I can see they have a shield there. That's going to help mitigate some damage. So let's move on here. Alright. For the head mod, we're going to have Supercharge Pheromone Bloom 3. It grants 2.5% supercharge back to you when you use Iconic Pheromone Bloom. The head mod, you don't necessarily have to have this if you're not using a supercharge, but I'm going to demonstrate this for this particular build with the EUG, how I'm going to be healing a lot with the Pheromone Bloom, you know, and the EUG itself too going to also be healing. If you happen to get rid of your EUG, you could change this mod for something else, you know. But this is what I'm using for this build, so, you know, this is the mod you need to have. For the neck, I'll be using Fortified Assault number 5, increases your defense by an additional 10% while not blocking. So while you're not blocking, you're going to increase your defense by 10%. With fire, you don't really block too much because of that fire soul mechanic, which I'll explain later on. Only if you have to block a scripted move that where the boss is going to one-shot you, you have to block, you know, or a mechanic that you have to block. That's the only way or on his timers, I would say, you'll be blocking. So next, moving on here, we have for the back, accelerated burning determination reduces the cooldown of fire burning determination by 10%. Yeah, we're gonna need that mod because I'll show you guys why we need that mod. I'll be clipping that mod with the shield, and I'll show this later on in the video. So this mod is gonna be very important here, and I'll show you guys why later on. Coming to the chest here, for the chest we're gonna have the chest socket gonna be quick healing requires boost, gain an additional 2% bonus to healing received. So we're gonna get 2% bonus to our healing having that mod there, since it's a fire healing tank build. You know what I'm saying? Moving on here. For the legs, I have restorative flashpoint. Ignore that. That's for my fire battle tanking. You don't really need any mod for the legs because you know the loadout that I'm gonna use nothing pertains to the leg socket. So ignore that here. Feet, we have tumbling master. You know, so you tumble a little longer distances. If you don't have this, it's good to have it, especially when you wanna like get out of mechanics and stuff. You wanna dodge an orbital, you know, you could do it like that there, or get out of fire pools. Doing elite, you wanna get out fire pools. It covers a good distance here. That's an example there if you're new to DC. You know. Most players know about this, but if you don't use this as a tank, it's good to implement it as a mod in your feet. So let's get back here. For the hands, I'll be using max damage. You know, you don't necessarily have to use the one for healing with the shields. It doesn't really do that much healing. I use max damage because it helps out with doing a little extra damage and helping the group with some damage, you know. And for the face socket, I'm using that health socket here. 4,116 health. That's how much we get there. It's gonna help out, you know, because I'll talk about this later on, you know, why this mod is very important. So, with that being said, let's go to the artifacts. For the artifacts, we have Lazarus Pit Water. You can revive yourself, and when your health falls below 1, you become immune to damage for 12 seconds. But if you're not healed to full health, you're gonna get knocked out, and basically you could pick yourself up. So you must be healed full health within that 12 seconds if you have it maxed out to 200. It's a good artifact to have, especially if you're doing elite and stuff, you know, it's good to have. And also, let me talk about Drexel's Pit. When you say get knocked out and you happen to revive yourself, when you revive yourself, you're gonna be in a green pool there. The Lazarus Water is gonna have like a green, like the Lazarus Pit Water is gonna have like a green little pool, and it restores up to 50% of your health HP upon moving through that field. Just walking through the field, you're gonna get 50% of your HP back. So if you rise, you won't be with 0 health, and you have to pop like a soda or something, or a supply trouble. So that Lazarus Pit Water is very good. If you want to find out more about in detail, I did a video on this covering 9 of the tank artifacts, so you can check it out. So yeah, with that being said, let's continue on here. Manacles of Force is going to be a very good artifact. It absorbs 50% of incoming damage and reapplies it over the next 5 seconds. Basically, if you get say the boss hit you for a good amount, right? Like a high number, right? You're not gonna take the full damage one time. You're gonna take it in parts. So basically, during that time, it's gonna trigger like a gold braces, like the Wonder Woman braces on your hands, and you can heal yourself during that time. You're not taking like the full damage. So say you're supposed to take 100 damage, right? You take 50 damage instead. So you're basically not taking a full hit, and you're not taking it enough, like all the damage at the same time. Basically, I did a video on this. You can check it out. As I said before, I did more explain about this. And let's move on here. I'll waste no more time. So let's get to the mystic symbols of the 7. Also the video on this too. I said my artifact video, I explained this in detail. You need this for the build because you're going to be doing a lot of healing when you have a lot of odds. And let me read the protection of 7 here quick before I move on. The powers of the 7 embolden the user, grant them falling bonuses when hitting by an enemy. When hit by an enemy, increase defense by 5% for each enemy within 5 yards, maximum 20%. So you could increase your defense up to 20%, depending on how much enemies you have. Increase healing also received by 10%. Regenerate a small amount of health based on restoration each time you are struck by an enemy, 0.25-second cooldown. So yeah, you're gonna be healing yourself based on how much restoration you have, and I'll explain that later on as I come to the spec and stuff. Yeah, so that's about it there for the equipment, artifacts, and white nods. So next, let me move on here. Let's talk about allies. Alright. So as I said, it's a healing build. So these are the allies you could use for this particular healing build. For the combat ally here, you're gonna have, right now I don't have it maxed out. Eventually I'm gonna get it. Combat ally to me, Nubia. If you have it, you could use it. According to the description they say it heals 10% of their maximum health. It's actually more when you level it up. Let me show you guys here the details. I don't want to waste too much time on this though. But let's get into it here. Go to the details. Yeah, so as you can scroll down here, you're gonna see to me there at 10 there, 20% healing by 2. So the healing increases, as you level it up, as you rank it up actually. And let's move on here. So that's there for the Nubia. Is gonna, when you summon, it's gonna do some heal and some damage. So that's pretty good. Alright, so we're gonna have a Lex Luthor here. Increases dominance, restoration, vitalization, and defense by 15% for 15 seconds when below 50% health. So if your health happen to drop, your restoration and dominance is going to increase, and this is going to be very, that exobyte overdrive, supportability is going to be very good, because restoration and dominance is very good for your shields and very good for healing. And then we have calculator bot, heal for 10% of incoming damage, cooldown 20%. But the description is wrong there, because when they updated, well, I don't know if they updated it or what, but when I tested calculator bot, it depends on how much health you have. So you heal based on how much health you have, basically. So you heal more based on how much health you have. That's why, I'll show you guys the spec later on. So as I said before, when you for the supportability exobyte overdrive, increase dominance, restoration, violence, and defense by 15% for 15 seconds when your health reaches below 50%. It's going to help out because, as I said before, let me go to stats here real quick. Dominance, as you can see there, is combined with restoration to determine the potency of healing and shield abilities. At high level, dominance must be higher than the enemy willpower for control effects to be effective, and the healing base multiplier and so on there. So basically, when you spec into in dominance, well, basically when your dominance and your restoration increases, you're going to be doing more healing, and well, the healing number is going to increase also, and you're going to have a little stronger shields. Take a the shields could take a little more beating, basically. So yeah. So that's it there for the allies. Let's move on to the augments here. For the augments, you could get the, well, I use it for DPS, and you could get the dominance one if you have it, you know. You get have extra dominance in the content. So you run a shock to the system content, you gotta have the extra 6% dominance or whatever. I think it is 6%. I'm 100% sure. Yeah, it'll be 6% because these are max. Yeah, 6% dominance in the content. Yeah, so you got 6% extra dominance is gonna help out with the healing and shields and so on. And then, you know, your dominating implant or original augment is going to be the dominance ones, of course. So that's there for the augments. So let's move on and talk about the traits. Alright. Let's talk about the spec first. The weapon, one skill point and one-handed. Super speed. Since I'm super speed, if you're flight, acrobatic, whatever movement you are, you want to get this. Speed force there. Put one skill point in that. Get your innates. Adds 10% impulse resistance. Restrain resistance here. 10% restrain resistance. And they recover power with his restrain recovery and knockback recovery when you break out and so on. Yeah, these innates are very good. And you don't necessarily need dash attack because you're not really going to be using this in a loadout. It's just there to get to the other trees. So yeah, that's it there for the stat points. I mean the super speed. Now let's get into the iconic powers. For the iconic powers, you're gonna get Pheromone Boom, of course, Hard Shield, and Mesmerizing Lasso in case you got a separate bosses so on. If you run out with an X tank, this is better to use because it could also pull ads instead of using your regular taunt. You know, you could use this because it could pull ads also. Let's get in the stat points here now. Okay, for the stat points, you're gonna go in Focus Hybrid, getting 10% Might, 5% Dominance, 5% Restoration, 5% Vitalization. As I said before, the more dominance and restoration have, the more you're going to be doing healing. Since this is a fire tank healing build, that's going to help out a lot. The critical healing chance must be maxed out. 20% critical healing chance must be maxed out. You're going to be have more chances to get, you know, more healing, you know, bigger numbers. And the magnitude must also be maxed out. 80% critical healing magnitude must also be maxed out. So you'll get bigger numbers also. So you have a chance to, you know, the higher chances to get more crits basically. And this one here is for bigger crits. More chances to get more crits, and these are bigger healing crits. The number is going to increase basically. And you want to max out restoration. Get as much restoration you have depending on how many skill points you have. The more the better, because the mystic symbols of the 7 is going to be working with the restoration. The more restoration you have, as I said before, and also these critical healing magnitude and critical healing chance and healing magnitude works with the mystic symbol of the 7. I did a video on this. It actually, you're able to heal more by speccing into this here. I did a video on this, I actually tested it, you know. So the mystic symbol of the 7 is going to be healing more when you have a lot of odds around you. And you want to put 100 in health, and if you have remaining, put some in dominance, you know. If you don't have a lot of skill points, just go for restoration only, and then I would put some in health, as I said before. The calculator bot, you know, it works with health, you know, so it's gonna help out. And the dominance also is the more dominance you have, it's gonna help out with the shields and the healing. So the restoration and dominance gonna be working out. So sorry, helping out with the shield multiplier and so on, and the restoration, the healing. So yeah. So if you have like 300 remaining, I would put like 100 in. Say you have 300 remaining, right? You spec into your criticals one, you have 300 remaining, right? So I would go 100 into resto, 100 in health, and 100 in that way kind of balance it. But if you have a lot of to max out the restoration and have like a lot remaining, you could spec like this. How I spec 355 in restoration, 100 in health, and 100 in dumb. You know, try to get as much as possible into restoration though. Restoration is very important, you know. But the reason why I got 100 here is because I have 10% health. You know, it's a 10%, and after that it doesn't get any. The increase is very low, you know, but that 10% is, you know, a lot there when you reach that 100. That's the biggest munch you'll get, you know. So yeah, that's for the stat points. So we covered the stat points, iconic powers, the super speed, the weapon. Now let's jump into the loadouts. The loadouts are going to be very important, and I have to talk about this a little more in detail. But before I jump into the loadouts, let's talk about fire tank in itself. Remember when I mentioned something in the beginning about the fire soul mechanic? Alright, let's talk about that. So basically, in tank role, you get 50% more health, 50% incoming healing while not blocking. Remember what I said in the beginning, you don't really block too much with fire, and you get that extra, you know, healing while not blocking. And you also gain fire soul while not blocking, and I'll demonstrate that later on. So basically, when you do not block, right, your incoming healing is increased, so you don't block too much, so you get more healing back, and you also gain 35% defense while not blocking, as you directly damage burning enemies. This bonus increases up to a maximum of plus 60% defense while not blocking. So I'll demonstrate this later on when I come to the loadout. So yeah. So that's about it there for the tank roll there, the fire soul mechanic. I explain everything here. So let's get into the loadout real quick here. Alright. I'm gonna explain every single power, and I relate it to the fire soul mechanic and so on, and the healing. So immolation, as you guys can see there, it's a shield. It used to be 100% mitigation shield, but after they did that update, some game update in the past, it don't mitigate 100% damage. So basically, let me read it for you guys. You engulf yourself in flames, protecting you from damage for a short time. Nearby enemies that attack you will be burnt, taking damage over time. So the key word here is burn. That is going to help with the healing, as I said before. So it's going to be burning enemies and helping with the healing. Burn enemies, making them vulnerable to burning effects. Tank roll greatly increases shield value, however, shield absorbs 35% damage. So basically, it's going to only mitigate 35% of the incoming damage. It's not 100%. Moving on here. Burning determination. Right. Engulf yourself in focused flames, healing yourself. Incoming attacks will trigger additional heal up to 10 times. So basically, you're going to heal yourself, and 10 hits after that from adds, you're going to be healing yourself. So that's going to be very good for the, the build. And as I said before, you needed that white mod, to reduce the cooldown for the burning determination, because when we will be clipping these two moves. I will show that later on, and it will have the same cooldown time. That's why you needed that white mod for the reduced cooldown time for the burning determination. So moving on here, we're gonna have highlight shield. It's gonna be you're rotating that with the immolation shield. So when immolation is not active, you're gonna use highlight shield. So basically, you're gonna try to have a shield every time on. It doesn't stack with the healer's shield. So if the healer is using a shield, so if the healer places a shield on you, you could you don't have to necessarily use the highlight shield. Just wait for the healer shield to break, or for it to go away, and then hit your highlight shield. Engulf, it's gonna be your range pull. It's also gonna burn enemies. The keyword here, burns enemies, right? It's gonna be good for healing. As I said before, when you burn enemies, you heal more. The backdraft gonna be a 360 pull, right? And as it says there, it heals while damaging putting enemies towards you. Burning enemies take additional damage, and a knockdown restores additional health when used against burnt enemies. So basically, when you use the backdraft, it's gonna do double ticks, and I'll show this later on in the demonstration. I'm demonstrating the loadout. So instead of getting one tick, you're gonna get two tick from the backdraft. Basically, when you have enemies on burning, and these are the moves you're gonna be using: immolation, burning termination, and also stoke flames. Stoke flames burns enemies also, and it does healing over time. I think you get like 6 ticks from stoke flames. Yeah, about 6 ticks. Yeah, so that's the loader that you're gonna be using if you don't have the EOG, right? However, if you have the EOG, right, what you're gonna be doing with the EOG, see, you're gonna take off, right? Take off burning determination and put pheromone bloom here, right, if you're using EOG. So if you're using EOG, you'll have pheromone there, and when you hit pheromone bloom, you're gonna swap in EOG, take out, you swap in, you just swap out the mystic real quick, put the EOG, hit the supercharge, and swap back the mystic one. That's it. Basically, it's simple. That's all. Yeah. So let me go demonstrate the loadouts here real quick for you guys. Back to intimation here. Alright, so I'm gonna take some damage here and demonstrate here. Alright. So I put enemies on burning, right? That's the mystic is healing me. See how much the mystic is healing me for? Mystic healing there. Put my shield on here real quick. Activate that burning, that PI, that burning there. Burning termination. Alright. Remember when I said that white mod for burning termination? This is where you're gonna do cryptic immolation, burning together. These are the worst boss to test this on, man. I won't lie. See, the incoming hits are healing me, plus the mystic. So I'm getting a lot of healing. I'm not really healing too much with backdraft, I can see. The mystic is healing for so much because I'm maxed out in restoration. I'm healing for so much, yo. So clip these two again to here. Again, together. It's healing for a lot, man, I won't lie. I'm losing for a lot. The Mystic healing for so much, man, that's crazy. Pop a highlight shield. I got 57 seconds to test. Alright. Let me test backdraft here real quick. So I need to take some damage. 45 seconds, okay. Let me test backdraft here real quick here. That's a Mystic healing me. Hold on, let me take that off here real quick. Alright. Let's take out the Mystic here. I do a heal. That's only one number there, you guys see there. And if I want to do double ticks, put them on burning with the golf. Get 2 ticks, you guys see there. That's how backdraft works. And then we got stoke flames here. 1 tick, 2 tick, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get 6 ticks from stoke flames. So I hope I was able to demonstrate everything for you guys there, you know. I got knocked down a lot and stuff there, you know. But you see, you know, I'm not really wasn't using my power so much. I was healing a lot. Just from the Mystic. I had to take the Mystic off and put it back on. You know, because I spec into a lot of dominance and you know, I mean, sorry, not dominance, restoration. Yeah, that's a Mystic. Sorry, where is Mystic at? Take out the Mystic. I put it. Oh, it's gonna be at the bottom. Yeah, as I was saying, because I spec into maximum restoration, I'm healing for a lot with the Mystic, and I'm maximum critical healing chance and magnitude, so I'm healing a lot. As you guys saw there, the Mystic alone was healing me for a lot. You know, it's healing me for a lot when I took damage. And when you have a lot of odds, that's going to be very good with the Mystic healing for so much. Yeah, guys. So if you guys, let me do one more test for you guys before I leave, which is going to be the test with the EUG and the Pheromone Broom. So if you happen to have the EUG artifact, you know, I got a bit of supercharged too, damn. Yeah. So if you happen to have the EUG artifact, guys, and you haven't gotten rid of it, you could use Pheromone Bloom, and I'll show you guys how much it's healed for. So let me read the description for Pheromone Bloom. There is a supercharge. It's 2.5k supercharge. Let loose a plant, point blank explosion of Pheromone Bloom laden plants. Damage your enemies and healing yourself over time. Enemies will be knocked back and stunned. So you're going to basically be healing yourself, and you're going to also stun the enemies. So it's going to be very good. So let me see here real quick. My health is very low. I'm going to be using the Pheromone Bloom with the EUG to see how much I heal back for when I use it. So I'm going to wait a little bit here. My health get very, very low. I think this is about it here. So if you happen to take a big hit and hit a Pheromone Bloom, you heal yourself to max health. You guys see how they max health with the Pheromone Bloom and the EUG. So that was it. I was able to heal myself to max health by hitting 2.5k supercharge. You know, the Pheromone stun the odds, heal me for a lot. You know, so I'll test it now without the EUG. So let me take off the EUG here real quick and see how much I heal back for. So specking into restoration helps a lot with your powers. You know, you heal for more. As you can see there, you know, I'm healing for a lot. Alright, so my health is low enough there. Let's go. So it was able to heal me for like, you know, a good bit, you know, without the EUG. I still have healing over time going on there, as you can see there. You know, if I happen to pop a shield, I will be able to heal 100%. You know, but I didn't pop a shield. But it was able to heal me, you know, for a good amount without the EUG. Yeah, but it's good to have it with the EUG because you're gonna get back your supercharge also, and you get some extra healing with the EUG. You know, so you can just swap in the EUG if you have it. Alright guys, now I'm going to demonstrate the fire soul mechanic here real quick for you guys. Remember the key word that when I talked about it before was make sure you got to put enemies on burning in order for this to work, and you must attack them while they're on burning. Same for the healing to get more heals. You know, you have to have the enemies on burning, and I show you guys the loadout. You know, so the loadout I have here, the emulation I'm gonna be putting burning, as I said before. The engulf is gonna be putting enemies on burning and stoke flames. And when I do attacks on the enemies, my defense is gonna increase. So let me make sure I don't have anything to boost my defense. This does not boost defense. Manacles doesn't boost defense. Mystic boosts defense, so let me take that off. I do not have anything else here to boost defense. Alright. So let me show you guys my defense here real quick. 271,308. 271k basically. 271.3k. So that's the defense. So the enemy is not on burning right now. Let me do some attacks. The events still the same. Let me hit emulation, put the enemy on burning. Do some attacks. The defense increased to 318k, as you guys can see there. And it lasts for a good while. So I was able to max out my defense. That's how much max I could get. Alright guys, so let me use engulf now to show you guys that it works with engulf also. Do some healing also here, some damage. Engulf, make sure they're on burning. Okay, they're on burning here, and check my defense. Defense has increased to 318. That's the max I can get, 318k. So let's test it with stoke flames. Wait until the defense drop again. Defense is 271. Hit stoke flames here real quick, pop a shield, do some damage. Check my defense. It's at 318k. So once you put the enemies on burning and you do some attacks, your defense will increase. That's the fire soul mechanic in action there, guys. So burning is the key for fire. You know, burning helps out with healing and also helps out with this fire soul mechanic. I hope that very informative video was very helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, share it to your friends out there dealing with this online. I'd really appreciate it if you do. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos on my channel. So make sure and check it out. With that being said, I'll leave you guys here. You guys have a good day.